In Beyond Good and Evil, Nietzsche introduces the concept of the will to power. It's one of his most misunderstood concepts because he never really gives it a single or clear definition. But once you truly understand what he meant, it might completely change the way you see human nature, ambition, and even morality. I've read Beyond Good and Evil, and here's my understanding of what the will to power really means. Most people think will to power just means the desire to control or dominate others. But Nietzsche wasn't talking about politics or brute force or power in the common understanding of the word power. He was describing the driving force of all life itself. As he wrote, a living thing seeks above all to discharge its power. Life itself is will to power. For Nietzsche, life is not about surviving or comfort. It's about expansion, growth, and overcoming, namely overcoming suffering and struggle. Every form of life, from plants reaching towards the sun to the humans striving for greatness, is an expression of this inner force. In his words, "Where I found the living, there I found will to power, and even in the will of those who serve, I found the will to be master, and thus spoke Zarathustra." Nietzsche believed that modern morality, especially Christian morality, had made men weak, teaching them to suppress their instincts. He saw this as a denial of life's natural force. All psychology hitherto has remained rooted in moral prejudices and fear, he said. To Nietzsche, virtue wasn't about denying power, it was about channeling it creatively. The will to power isn't the desire to rule over others. It's the urge to create, to impose form, meaning, and value on the chaos of existence. Nietzsche often talks about how we have competing wills within us, striving for different things. One of those, and the most important one, is the will to power. And he left it purposely ambiguous. The artist shaping a masterpiece, the thinker forging new ideas, or the man building a disciplined life are all acts of the will to power. As Nietzsche wrote, "My idea is that every specific body strives to become master over all space and to extend its force." For Nietzsche, the highest expression of power was not control over others, but mastery over oneself. He wrote, "The man who cannot command himself must obey." The will to power is the will to self-overcome, to rise above one's old values and limitations, to create the man you wish to become. This is what Nietzsche called the process of becoming the Übermensch, or the higher man. When Nietzsche famously declared, "God is dead," he wasn't celebrating atheism, and he saw it as a sad thing. He was warning of a world without divine meaning. He predicted that without God, man would turn to nihilism, ideology, or few would become this higher man. And to those who sought to become this higher man, in that void, man must create meaning himself. This creative act of shaping one's own values is an act of the will to power. He said, "To impose upon becoming the character of being, that is the supreme will to power." Life, for Nietzsche, is conflict, but not destructive conflict. It's this eternal tension that produces growth. To live is to wrestle with resistance, to sharpen oneself through struggle. As he put it, you must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. The will to power requires challenge, because only through struggle can the strong become stronger. In modern life, this idea still applies. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, creation over consumption, or courage over fear, you express that inner will to power. It's not about conquering others, it's about conquering yourself and expanding your capacity to act in the world. Nietzsche's will to power is not a dark philosophy, as it is often seen as. It's really a call to life. It's the recognition that within every man, there is this untamed force, a hunger to grow, to overcome, and to create. And it's not something to suppress, it's something to master. And as Nietzsche wrote, what is good? All that heightens the feeling of power, the will to power, power itself in man. So the question isn't whether you have the will to power, it's how will you master it and how will you wield it? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe.